what an amazing room full of beautiful ladies. I love the Republican women. Honestly, I do so many events up and down the state, fighting hard for our beautiful state. And it's always the best energy, the Republican women. Always. And this is a particularly good group. I can't say, don't tell anyone if I say this is my favorite. By the way, especially for those who saw me last week at Rancho Bernardo. I mean, it's basically, shh, don't tell anyone. Thank you very much. I feel this is our year. We're going to do it. We're going to take back our state. Can you feel it? Can't you feel it? I feel it. I'm really feeling it. People are sick of it. We know that we can be that beautiful golden state again. It's not some impossible dream. We all remember, it's just what it was like before the Democrats took over. It's not going to be that difficult. We can do it. Before we go on, I have to say, I want to call them up here. My glamorous assistants in the photography, come up here. Just come up here. No, you and you. Let's go. Come on. And you. And yes, and you. You got to come right now. I've never seen such an incredible operation. Come up here. What about these three? Okay? It was amazing. So I always love to do the pictures, and usually it's Eric here in my team who does it, and he's got it down, and we do the thing, and it's very efficient. And Eric does it in a very charming manner, which I always appreciate. And you stepped up, and the three of us got it done. How about that? It was amazing. And so basically, I'm not going to, name names here. Obviously, you did a great job as a photographer because you got the best haircut. He's got the right haircut for the job. But the other thing I want to say is, the ladies were obviously very charming and polite. But this guy, wow, he was on it, wasn't he? Don't talk, move off, get out of here. We got to get on with it. That's right. You got to take command and make it happen. Thank you very, very much. That was wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate it. By the way, this is what you get, you see, with Republicans. Well organized, efficient. We got the job done. Imagine if Democrats were organizing this. Imagine where we'd be if it was, Gavin Newsom or Eric Swalwell here trying to take pictures with all of you. You'd still be, hanging around, nothing happening. It would probably cost us $100 billion. You'd never get the pictures taken. And they'd still be promising the pictures maybe a year from now. You need Republicans to get things done. That's right. That's why we need a Republican governor in the state of California. That's what we're going to get. What's that? Oh, okay. I thought now he's bossing me around. Quite right. Exactly. Look, I don't want to talk for too long because one of the reasons I wanted to make sure I could say hi to all of you and get the pictures done before we got going, because I have to leave pretty promptly to do Newsmax. So apologies for that. I've got to be out of here at 1 o'clock. But so I don't want to talk for too long because I always love the questions. So we're going to make sure there's some time for questions and all of that. But I just want to say a couple of things. We need to make sure, and I will ensure, along with my running mate for Attorney General, I'll get to that in a second after I've answered your question directly, Michael Gates. We're running together on what we call the golden ticket. There's a few others I'll get to. Very simple. We will make sure that all laws are peacefully enforced. It's number one. Specifically on sanctuary, you use the phrase sanctuary status. That's exactly right. There is a sanctuary law that was passed in 2017, SB 54. The governor can't unilaterally overturn legislation. Where the legislation violates the California state constitution, the governor can initiate legal action to overturn it, and I will be doing that. If that law, actually, there's a lawsuit filed by my running mate when he was city attorney in Huntington Beach to invalidate the California sanctuary state law because it violates federal law. That's going through the courts. It's possible that it will have been overturned by the time I'm governor. If not, then we'll file our own lawsuit here to overturn it based on the California Constitution. But the real point is what you said, which is sanctuary status, which is very different. So even within the sanctuary law that was passed in California, there's a section, and I've read it very clearly, and it has a long list of crimes and misdemeanors and so on, where there is discretion for state and local law enforcement to work with federal law enforcement to enforce the law. So even under California sanctuary law, you can work together. And when I'm governor, you will absolutely see state law enforcement working with federal law enforcement to enforce our laws, including immigration law. It will happen when I'm governor. Because we cannot have, but I would go further. And this is one of the biggest areas of disagreement with my Republican opponent, who put out a video saying that in his jurisdiction, there will not be cooperation to enforce federal immigration law. I disagree with that strongly. And so when I'm there, you will see that happen. But actually, it's more than that. We have to state very clearly that we cannot have a situation, which we've had for decades now, where you have mass law breaking just accepted as part of our world and our society in California. It's not okay. I'm a legal immigrant. A proud American. You heard the story. Moved here 2012 with my wife and my 2 sons on a visa, then a green card, citizenship. It took 9 years. When I hear people say, oh, we need a pathway to citizenship for all the illegal immigrants who are here, again, something my opponent says, I say, well, hang on a second. We've got a pathway to citizenship. It's called legal immigration. That's it.
I'm a little concerned about...
Oh, okay.
Which one? Okay. I'm concerned about the primary. We watched New York and courtesy law, and Ron Donnie got in because of that. And I think as we approach the primary, the Democrats are going to knock out a lot of people. And how are you going to deal with the other Republican, not to split the vote and make sure one Republican?
Yeah, so it's a very, very important question. And the question is, how are you going to deal with the other Republican in order that we don't split the vote and let in 2 Democrats into the final? And I've got to tell you, I'm going to talk more about it, so this is just a quick response. The real answer to that question is, how are you going to deal with it? And how are all of you going to deal with it? Because this is, in the end, about where your support and your votes go. I can't do anything other than make my case as to why I'm the strongest Republican. In the end, it's your decision. It's your decision who you support. And so right now, I think you're right to be concerned, and I'm concerned, because you've got a false sense of security, where in a lot of these polls, another one, this one yesterday, where you have myself and the other Republican in the top 2. And some people look at that and say, well, that's great, isn't it? We're going to have 2 Republicans in the general election, guaranteed a Republican governor. No way. The Democrats aren't going to let that happen. They're not just going to concede California to a Republican governor. And now I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but it seems to me right now that Eric Swalwell is consolidating support on the Democrat side. He got the endorsement of a very big union, the SEIU. Feels like the machine is moving behind him. You've also got Tom Steyer. I mean, we can joke about Tom Steyer and his ridiculous ads that they're everywhere. But, you know, he would look at that and say, well, it's kind of working for him. He's spent $80 million and he's gone from like 1 or 2% to 10 or 11%. So what's another $100 million to him? So there's a very real risk, exactly as you say. Now, just one thing that we need to be aware of, the deadline to file for all these statewide, for all offices, was March the 6th. So that's gone now. And anyone who's on the ballot is on the ballot even if they drop out. So even if all these Democrats, the LPDs, the low polling Democrats, even if they drop out, they're still going to be on the ballot. So they'll siphon off some of the votes. But, you know, not necessarily that much. There is a very real risk that Swalwell moves up, Tom Steyer buys more support, and you get a situation where you have 2 Democrats in the top 2. How do we avoid that? By getting behind 1 Republican. And I'm here to tell you, that I believe, based on the fact that I'm leading in the polls, leading by a lot on fundraising. I won the first TV debate. I've got the business experience, the government reform experience, the policy expertise across a whole wide range of policies, plans that I've been working on for 3 years now. I am the leading Republican candidate, and I very much would argue that it's time to get behind the leading Republican candidate and make sure we don't allow the calamity of 2 Democrats in the top 2.
She wants to know what the plan is to get around the Democrat cheating machines.
All right, so this is something that we think about a lot. Michael, the question was about the cheating and elections and so on. And of course, it's a massive, I mean, we just saw James O'Keefe reveal the scale of the fraud and the corruption and the cheating. I mean, you look what's been going on now. The Democrats buying votes. You saw it on video, taking cash, handing it to homeless people. I mean, the latest video that James put out yesterday that I was talking to him about, you saw Democrats, activists, handing out cash. By the way, that cash, a lot of it, is our taxpayer money. So here's one thing that we've uncovered. So, you know, a couple of months ago, I set up, people say to me, Steve, how are you going to, you know, obviously a big part of my plan is cutting taxes. Got to cut taxes. You can only cut taxes if you cut spending. How are you going to cut spending? Are you going to bring in Doge? No, I'm not going to bring in Doge. I'm going to be Doge. We're going to do that right here. And we've already started, and we started Cal Doge a couple of months ago. We've already done 3 fraud reports, and 2 of them, the first and the second, both of them exposed taxpayer money being diverted from the purposes that it was intended for. The first was the $370 million from the cannabis tax that was supposed to go to substance abuse prevention. The second was $1 billion that was supposed to go for installing solar panels on low-income apartment buildings, diverted into Democrat activism and voter registration. And now James O'Keefe has provided the other side of that picture. So we identified the money flow goes to these groups doing voter registration. He showed what that looks like. Cash being paid to homeless people to write fake names and addresses and voter registration so they get ballots and so they can sign up on ballot initiative petitions and get their nonsense on the ballot. He's exposed the whole thing. We've exposed the business model of this corrupt Democrat regime. So that's one part of the fraud. Then you talk about the machines and all the other things that are going on. And the heart of it is this universal mail-in ballots, sending ballots out to everybody. When you've got that going on, and you've got voter rolls that are completely out of date and corrupted, and you've got the insanity of votes being counted a week after election day, you put all that together and you've got the massive opportunity for cheating. Now, long term, here's what I want to do. It's very simple. I mean, we can only do this once we're elected. I want to do what most places do. It's very simple. Vote on one day, count on one day, get the results on one day, voter ID, paper ballots, no machines, citizens only voting. What's wrong with that? But we can't do that in advance of the election. But here's the good news on cheating. There's a couple of things that have happened. So Michael Gates, my running mate for Attorney General, he was the city attorney in Huntington Beach, as I mentioned. But before that, just now, until he jumped in the race for Attorney General, for the last year, President Trump hired him for the Justice Department. He was working in the Justice Department in D.C., in the Civil Rights Division with Harmeet Dillon and Leo Terrell, and he particularly led the work on election integrity. He filed the lawsuits against California to clean up the voter rolls. My running mate, Michael Gates. And here's the good news. A few years ago, the estimate of the total number of incorrect names on the voter rolls in California, wait for it, 9 million. Do you remember what I told you about the target number of votes to win? 5.9 million. So that's an insane level of people who've died and they're still on the thing, or they moved to another state and they're still there, or moved address within the state and they didn't cancel the first one, all of that. Now, that has been cleaned up. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Through that lawsuit, the federal lawsuit from, Judicial Watch filed a lawsuit against LA County, our biggest county. That alone took 1.5 million names off that were incorrect. So right now, the estimate, we've gone from 9 million incorrect names on the voter rolls to 3 million. That is a huge change. Okay, there's 3 million to go, but think about that difference since the last election. The second really important thing, I think, and it's happening right now, we just had it this week at the Supreme Court. They heard oral arguments for a very important case based out of Mississippi, which would insist that election day is election day, and any votes received after election day are not counted. Now, that is a case that the Supreme Court has indicated they will rule on by the end of their term this summer. In other words, there's a very small possibility it will be operational for the June primary, but unlikely, but a very strong likelihood that it will be in operation for our general election in November. In other words, it will be banned. No counting of votes after election day. That could happen this year, so I think it's very likely to happen. So there's some big changes going on. One last question, I'm afraid.
Here we have a question.
I'm sorry? Okay, so one over there and the gentleman there, okay? And that's not have to be in a moment. Last two. Oh, wait.
Right here. Hello?
What do you think about eliminating property taxes on?
She's over here now.
What?
And if you're elected to eliminate property taxes on your senior citizens.
No, I understand. Property tax, I said, look, we can't, I think it's very important that we only promise things we can do. And first of all, a lot of that property tax stuff is wrapped up in past ballot initiatives that are very difficult to unpick. It's also very local because the money goes local and then it's, for a lot of it, handed up to the state in terms of education funding. I've made clear my priorities on property tax, a number of things. Number one, protect Prop 13, don't allow any increases in property tax. Save Prop 13. The best thing we can do on property tax is make sure we pass Save Prop 13 this year. We can have exemptions for the military, but my priority for my tax cut plan is the people who've been hurt the most by all these policies in California from the Democrats, working class Californians who have just been completely squeezed. And so I'd love to be able to say, I hear other people saying things like we're going to abolish income tax and we're going to abolish property tax, we're going to do all these things. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. That is not how it works. You've got to be practical. And I think as Republicans, if we're really serious about winning, we have to show that we're serious and have serious plans. My tax plan is the following, apart from Save Prop 13, you can see it on my website on day one, protect against increases in property tax, is your first 100 grand tax-free. Your first 100 grand, no tax. That will help working class Californians above 100 grand, a flat tax of 7.5%. That is a massive reduction in taxes for everyone, including all sorts of income. That applies to all income. And that's going to be a really big driver for growth and job creation, because we have the highest unemployment rate in the country. Businesses are leaving. We're not generating the wealth. Our priority in terms of taxes, for me, has to be pro-worker and pro-growth, so we get the engine of wealth creation going again in California. And so, of course, the exception, taking out our veterans from property tax, which I spoke about earlier, which is actually incredibly important, but in terms of the impact on the budget, is something that is affordable and we can realistically do. Okay. I thought we just had that question. I'm so.
My question is, the old What are your plans on helping the farmers in the valley?
Yes, okay.
Water situation?
So let me try and go very quickly so we can get another couple in. Okay, very good. So, I know, okay. So look, I want to say a couple of things after this, but very specifically on farmers. I spent a lot of time with our great farmers, not just in the Central Valley. We have an amazing ag industry everywhere in our state. You go to Ventura, you have amazing farmers there. You go to Imperial County, we have some amazing farmers there that I know very, very well. And they're right here with us today. And so the farming industry is absolutely the lifeblood of our state. And I am 100% committed to helping and supporting our farmers thrive and grow and flourish. And it makes me so angry that we've got this incredible industry that's producing the healthy food that we need, not just for us and our families, but we should be selling to America and the world. We should be encouraging this industry. Instead, they are shutting it down because they see farmers as and ranchers as the enemy. And that is going to change when I'm there. I'm going to be 100% on the side of our farmers and ranchers. Here's a couple of things, okay? A couple of things specific. I can't go into the details, but I know you're very patient, everybody, with my English accent, but there's a couple of words you've got to say American to say them right. We are going to get water to our farm. Not water, water. I was joking with... some of you saw me on with Laura Ingram last night, and afterwards, I don't know if she's put it out yet, she did a little video on the set with me and Adam Carolla. And Adam made some joke about my fake British accent, and then when I'm governor, I'll go back to the true American accent that I have. Anyway, and I made a joke about the water, but seriously, here's what we can do. Even within the current water infrastructure, we can increase deliveries to our farmers by just literally deleting the ridiculous extreme biological assessments, as they call them, in the State Water Resources Control Board that were put there over the last few years by these environmental lunatics that want to preserve some ridiculous fish that actually died out years ago and had to be reintroduced through a breeding program from UC Davis. I could go on, but we're going to get rid of all that. We're going to have common sense and increase the supply of water through the current infrastructure. Then we need to build more water infrastructure. We're going to complete the sites reservoirs up in Colusa County. I can see where that needs to be built. Should have been done decades ago. We're going to finish sites. Another project is raising Shasta Dam. That massively increases the water infrastructure and storage that we have. Desalination, we're going to get rid of the idiots on the Coastal Commission who blocked that happening. So there's so much we can do if you have the right attitude and you have a governor that understands how this policy works and understands that you can get a lot done by understanding the way you've got to kick people out of these agencies and bureaucracies, put common sense people in there who are going to do the right thing, especially for our great farmers. And thank you as well for that. No, I have to go. I'm so sorry. Okay, but you're so beautiful with that flower in your hair. We have to do this last question.
Okay, real quick, how do you feel about gun rights?
I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I understand deeply why we need the Second Amendment. It's not just, the practical thing of protecting, people being able to protect what's most precious to them. It's also something deeper than that. It's the fact that in this country, we don't assume that the government is there, with self-reliance and independence. It's a huge part of that. And also the original intent of that, so that we as people, as citizens, could protect against government tyranny. And for those who think that is some kind of old-fashioned concept and it's not relevant anymore, well, look what they did in the lockdowns and the pandemic. We definitely need to protect ourselves against government tyranny when you have people like the Democrats running around. So I will make sure we not only defend the Second Amendment, we do everything in our power. There's a policy plan on my website. You can read it. I announced it with Michael Gates, who'll be very strong on this. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go. I want to say two last things. Number one, it's very simple how we're going to win this election. I gave you some of the political facts, but the story is this. The number one issue for people in California, it's clear in every poll, is everything being so expensive. You need someone with a business background who understands how the economy works to make it happen. My plan is very straightforward. We are going to make our state Cali-affordable. That's what's going to happen. And here it is. You can tell everyone, what does Steve Hilton stand for? Here it is. We're going to make our state Cal-affordable. $3 gas. Cut your electric bills in half. Your first $100,000 tax-free. No more free healthcare for illegal immigrants. A home you can afford to buy. Cal-affordable. The second thing I want to say, and this is really true from all my years in business and working in government, it's never about one person. It's not about this, just me. I am doing something that no previous governor candidate has ever done from either party. Put together a team, a strong, credible team before the election so we can present to the people, here is the administration in waiting. That's what I've got. Gloria Romero running with me for lieutenant governor, a Latina who left the Democrats. That story of how the party went left and she walked away, that is very powerful for the Latino votes we need and the Democrat votes we're going to get. Running with me for lieutenant governor. Michael Gates, I've mentioned him a couple of times, running with me for attorney general. Herb Morgan, he's from down here, running with me for state controller. We're going to get to grips with the fraud and the waste, and we're going to stop it and get your money back. And then beyond that, I've announced plans for a new director of anti-trafficking initiatives, so we stop the scandal of child sex trafficking in California. Just the other week, I was in Fresno. We talk about the farmers to announce who I'm going to be putting in to run the Department of Natural Resources. A farmer, John Duarte, who knows the water issue backwards. I'm making these announcements and preparing for government in a serious way that we've never seen before. We call it the golden ticket. We're going to make our state golden again. And the final thing I'm going to say, I'm very sorry to say this, but I cannot do it for you. I can only do it with you. We got to do this together, everybody. So please, please, please join our movement for change. We're growing. We got energy. We got momentum. We got volunteers joining all the time. Right at the back there, you got David James. He's got some fantastic gear for you to buy. Sign up for the campaign. Please sign up as a volunteer. Every single one of you here can do something to help get me across the line. Share things on social media. Tell your friends. But we can't help us to do that if you don't sign up, if we don't have your information. And buy the gear, including this beautiful pin. People say to me, I love your pin. I was wearing it with Laura last night and Stuart Varney this morning. I'm going to be wearing it with Rob Schmidt on Newsmax tonight. This beautiful Stars and Stripes California pin can be yours. We had them made just for you, as seen on TV. You can get them. You can get them for over there for $41 because they will help make me the 41st governor of the great state of California. Thank you very much, everybody.